Fictionalized portrayals of historical figures in an alternate reality are popular these days. From the time-traveling antics of the Bill and Ted movies, to the great emancipator slaying the undead in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, there are many different approaches to this theme. In Verne, The Shape of Fantasy, players will control author Jules Verne as he discovers a form of ancient technology that can reshape reality with the power of imagination. Before we begin with this marvelous tale, imagine a place where you can find clickbait-free indie game coverage and get early access to videos, exclusive videos and live streams, access to the internet's most friendly Discord gaming community, and more at patreon.com/idreamofindiegames. Becoming a member will help us to continue bringing a voice to the voiceless and fighting against the echo chamber that brings you game coverage without the heart. This adventure game is developed by Gametopia and published by Assemble Entertainment. Set in a dystopian world where Europe is conquered and controlled by the Nation, an authoritarian governing body headed by a council of elites whose ambitions frequently result in both external and internal violence. The game begins with the Nation's forces raiding the Nautilus, a huge submersible headed by Captain Nemo, the leader of the resistance forces. During this raid, Jules is able to prevent disasters through the use of the iMag, an ancient device that is able to alter reality through the power of imagination. He had found this device on a deserted island where he drifted ashore in the aftermath of a shipwreck, and was initially rescued by Nemo. With the iMag's power, Nemo's resistance potentially has a resource that will give them an advantage over the Nation. Different ideas of what should be done with the device is the main focus of the story, and there are also sections of the game set in the past involving Jules learning about the iMag and the extent of its capabilities. The story plays out in a way that is engaging, with some nice buildup of tension, some well done plot twists, and a few characters whose intentions may not quite be what they seem on the surface. So discovering more about them and what their true intentions are provide an additional element of investigation to the gameplay. Jules will have to determine who can be trusted not only for his own safety, but will also have to take into consideration how the iMag will be used and what kind of world will result from the use of its power. Character actions are controlled by keyboard, and the player can interact with other characters or objects, pick up items to use from an inventory, and in scenes where it is present, can also use the iMag to alter reality to help in situations. Players will encounter many puzzles throughout the game, and most of them are intuitive and fun, but there are a few head scratchers thrown in there as well. There are also some stealth sections that require hiding behind objects, evading those who are on patrol, and making use of the iMag to cause distractions. The game uses an autosave system, and if you fail in some action, you will restart at the last checkpoint location. The autosaves are frequent, so you won't have to do much replaying before you are able to attempt an action that you had previously failed. This is convenient, though the lack of any kind of manual save option might be an issue for some players. The voice acting is mostly well done, with the only issue I noticed being an inconsistent pronunciation of certain names among the voice actors. It's only a small issue and it didn't bother me personally, but your mileage may vary. The graphics are done in a fairly good pixel art style, and the look of the game successfully creates the feeling of an adventure. The environments available to explore are interesting, and it's fun to search them to discover which parts of them you can interact with. The music fits the theme well, and is a mix of ambient music that changes in tone, appropriate for the scene, and adaptations of Western classical music that overall give the game a bit of a cinematic feel.
What the hell is going on?
Vern'S gameplay is smooth for the most part. The stealth sections stand out as being a bit more rough than the rest of the game. For example, there is a section in the game where you must sneak past and hide from multiple soldiers on patrol from different directions. If you are sighted, you will respawn at a checkpoint to attempt this section again, but the timing of the patrol routes the guards take won't always be the same in relation to one another. Because of this, You may have the misfortune of having spawned into a scenario where it isn't possible to succeed because the different timing doesn't allow you enough space or time to sneak by without being seen by one of the guards. So you will have to keep retrying until a situation with the potential for success is randomly generated. While that can be frustrating, there aren't many stealth sections in the game. The issue described is only present in one of them, and it wasn't enough to ruin the game for me. Even when hitting one of the few rough patches, the experience was still fun enough that I wanted to keep pressing on to see what would happen next. Players are also rewarded for finding items that give you more background information on the characters, insights into their motivations, as well as biographical information on Jules Verne himself. All in all, this is a fun and charming modern take on the adventure game genre that also makes the genre really live up to its name. If you're yearning for an adventure combining sci-fi with fantasy and fueled by the power of imagination, then Verne, The Shape of Fantasy is a game worthy of your attention. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and come join us on Patreon at patreon.com/idreamofindiegames for all of the fabulous perks that come with membership, and to help us continue bringing a voice to the voiceless and fighting against the echo chamber that brings you game coverage without the heart.
Look everywhere. I want Verne and I want him alive. Do you hear me? If I see even a little scratch on him, the person responsible will answer before me.
Merde. It's bloody Raven again. I must pass unseen.